Apostolic letter of Pope Francis on Blaise Pascal following. The philosophers. Many of Pascal's writings are steeped in the language of philosophy. This is especially true of his Pensées, the collection of fragments published posthumously that are his notes and sketches for a philosophy inspired by a theological concern. Scholars have attempted, with varying results, to restore the collection's original form and unity. Pascal's passionate love for Christ and for serving the poor, which I mentioned earlier, were not so much the sign of a disconnect in the mind of this bold disciple, as of a deeper growth toward evangelical radicalism, a progression aided by grace towards the living truth of the Lord. Pascal, who possessed the supernatural certitude of faith and considered it fully compatible with reason, while infinitely surpassing the latter, sought as much as possible to engage in dialogue with those who did not share his faith. For, quote, to those who do not have faith, we can't give it except by reasoning, as we wait for God to give it to them by moving their heart. End of quote. Here we see a completely respectful and patient form of evangelization that our generation would do well to imitate. It is necessary then for a proper understanding of Pascal's thinking on Christianity to be attentive to his philosophy. He admired the wisdom of the ancient Greek philosophers, who sought with simplicity and tranquility to live well as citizens of a polis. Quote, we think of Plato and Aristotle as wearing the flowing robes of scholars. They were normal people, like everyone else, who enjoyed a good laugh with their friends. When they were composing their laws and politics, they did it for pleasure. It was the least philosophical and least serious part of their life. The most philosophical part was to live simply and peaceably. End of quote. Yet for all their greatness and their usefulness, Pascal recognized the limits of those philosophies. Stoicism leads to pride, skepticism to despair. Human reason is a marvel of creation which sets man apart from all creatures, for man is but a reed, the weakest in nature, yet he is a thinking reed. The limits of the philosophers are thus, quite simply, the limits of created reason. Democritus might well say, quote, I am going to speak about everything, but reason can't of itself resolve the deepest and most urgent issues. In the end, both for the age of Pascal as well for our own, what remains the greatest and most pressing question? It is that of the overall meaning of our destiny, our life and our hope, which is directed to a happiness that we are not forbidden to imagine as eternal, but which God alone can grant. Quote, nothing is as important to man as his own state. Nothing to him is as fearsome as eternity. End of quote. In reflecting on Pascal's Pensées, we constantly encounter in one way or another this fundamental principle, quote, reality is superior to ideas, end of quote. Pascal teaches us to keep our distance from, quote, various means of masking reality, end of quote. From, quote, angelic form of purity, to intellectual discourse bereft of wisdom, end of quote. Nothing is more dangerous than a disembodied reason. Quote, "He who would act as an angel acts as a beast." End of quote. The baneful ideologies from which we continue to suffer in the areas of economics, social life, anthropology, and morality keep their followers imprisoned in a world of illusions where ideas have replaced reality.